All right, let's talk about emotion coaching. It's one of those things we hear about all the time, right? This amazing way to raise emotionally healthy, resilient kids. And it sounds fantastic in theory. But then real life happens. You're in the middle of a meltdown, theirs or yours, and suddenly it feels, well, a lot less simple. So let's just ask the question out loud. Is this whole thing way harder than it looks? Because if you've ever tried to calmly name a feeling while your toddler is going full-on tantrum mode, or tried to connect with a teenager who's giving you total radio silence, yeah, you know exactly what I mean. Well, here's the good news. You are definitely not alone. And that's why we're doing this. Think of this explainer as your personal field guide, your map for navigating those really tricky emotional trails with your kids. So, let's open it up and get started. Here's our plan for today. We're going to start the quest with what to do when your child just shuts down. Then we'll turn the camera around and look at what happens when we're the ones feeling overwhelmed. We'll also cover how to avoid burnout, how to adapt your coaching as your kids grow, and then we'll bring it all home. And our guide for this whole quest is Coach 송은천. Now, he's not just some theorist. He's a coach and a dad to 2 kids, so he's been in the trenches. We're going to be distilling his practical, real-world advice right here for you. Let's dive into the first big challenge you're going to face on this trail. You try to connect, you try to do the coaching thing, and you're met with absolutely nothing. Complete and total silence. What do? Oh, this is maybe one of the most common frustrations out there. It doesn't matter if your kid is naturally introverted or just too little to have the words yet, that silence can feel like a giant brick wall. I mean, how are you supposed to coach an emotion if they won't even tell you what it is? Okay, so to get around that brick wall, our field guide gives us 3 awesome tools. First, you've got to become an emotion detective. Observe and predict. Start noticing the patterns. Do they get grumpy right before dinner? Do they shut down after a long day at school? Second, make it a game. A direct question like, how do you feel, can feel like a pop quiz. So instead, use tools like feeling cards. Coach Song talks about something called pleasant communication cards, where a kid can just point to a picture. Easy. And finally, number 3, you have to model it yourself. They need to hear you say things like, man, I'm feeling really happy today. Or, you know what? I'm a little frustrated that I can't find my keys. You're their first teacher. But let's be honest, figuring out their silence is only half the battle. Because this whole thing isn't just about their emotions, is it? So the next big challenge is one we all know well. What happens when our own feelings get in the way? This is just so real. You have every intention of being the calm, supportive parent, but you're human. You get triggered, you get angry, and all of a sudden, you're the one who needs a timeout. And Coach Song makes it crystal clear. Your ability to handle your own emotions is just as important as theirs, maybe even more so. Think of it like this. In those heated moments, you're at a fork in the road. The path on the left, reaction, is the default. It's easy to take. That's where yelling and blaming live. But the path on the right, response, is where the good stuff happens. In the pivot point, the one thing that lets you choose the better path is that first step, pause, and breathe. That tiny moment of space can change everything. It gives you the chance to name your own feeling, even to say out loud, you know what, mommy is feeling very frustrated right now. I need a minute to calm down. And please, let this one really sink in. You are not going to be a perfect parent. Nobody is. You're going to have moments where you react instead of respond. You're going to mess up. The goal isn't perfection, it's reconnection. The most powerful coaching you might ever do is going back to your child later and saying, I'm sorry I yelled. I was feeling really angry. Can we try again? That's gold. Okay, so we're working on their silence, we're working on our own anger. But what about the sheer exhaustion of it all? This brings us to our third huge challenge. How to avoid coaching burnout. Have you ever felt this? Come on, be honest. The pressure to turn every single stubbed toe or dropped ice cream cone into a profound emotional lesson? It's just too much. As Coach Song says, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And trying to be the perfect emotion coach 24/7 is a surefire way to burn out. So here's your long game strategy. First, stop trying to coach every single feeling.
It's impossible. Focus your energy on the big moments, the huge frustrations, the fights with siblings or friends. Remember, what really matters is consistency over time, not intensity in every single moment. And hey, don't forget to celebrate the small wins. When you see your kid take a deep breath instead of hitting, that's huge. Acknowledge it. That's the stuff that fuels you for the long haul.
Now for our last big challenge. The emotional map of your child's world is always changing because they're always growing. A tool that works wonders for a toddler is going to fall completely flat with a teenager. We have to be ready to adapt.
It's actually pretty amazing how our role as a coach changes. For toddlers, it's all about making them feel safe and giving them the most basic words: sad, bad, happy, usually with a big hug. With school-aged kids, you're helping them expand that emotional vocabulary, connecting their feelings to what actually happened. But with teenagers, look at that shift. Your main job is to be a sounding board, not a problem solver. It's about empathy and just listening, giving them the space to be heard without you trying to fix everything. So, we've navigated 4 of the toughest spots on the emotion coaching map. As we start to bring this explainer to a close, let's nail down a few key principles we can write on the front of our field guide. If you walk away with nothing else today, please remember these 3 rules. Rule number 1, progress, not perfection. Every little attempt counts. Rule number 2, your feelings matter a lot. Take care of yourself so you can be there for them. And rule number 3, you don't have to do this all the time. Focus your energy on those key moments where the connection really, really matters. And that's our field guide. But of course, your real journey is just getting started. So I'm going to leave you with one final question to think about. Looking back at all the tools we talked about, observing, making it a game, taking that crucial pause, adapting your style, what's just one tool you're going to try on your journey today?